The quiet game that wasn't. Before this game, I made myself one promise: no fireworks. No sacrifices I couldn't fully explain. No chaos for the sake of chaos. Just sit in a calm, even position and prove to myself I could get through it without handing my opponent a free win. I broke that promise by move 17. And somehow, breaking it turned into one of the best games I've played all year. I picked this structure on purpose. Early on, both sides traded a pawn in the center, and the position opened up completely evenly. Nothing sharp, nothing scary, the kind of position that's supposed to reward patience, not fireworks. It's exactly the kind of game I usually avoid, because I get restless fast and start hunting for something to blow up before it's even necessary. Tonight, staying calm on purpose was the entire point of sitting down at the board. The first stretch went to plan. A bishop trade here, a pawn trade there, both of us just developing normally. Then a check from my opponent led straight into a full queen trade, 12 moves in, and the queens were already off the board. That early, it usually means one thing: there's no big attack left to hide behind. Every small decision from here actually matters. For a few moves, I really felt like I was doing it. My rooks found good squares, my knight sat on a strong post, nothing was on fire. I remember thinking, quietly and almost proudly, that maybe I could actually hold a position like this without wrecking it. Then I saw the path. My knight could leap forward, then leap again, straight into the middle of my opponent's position, grabbing a pawn along the way and putting a rook under attack. That was never the plan. The plan was don't do anything risky. This was the exact opposite. But the pawn was just sitting there. I took it. My knight was alone now, deep in enemy territory, sitting on a square with almost no support. For the next several moves, I genuinely didn't know if it was coming home. My opponent kept circling it, and I kept waiting for the move that would trap it for good and turn my whole stay calm experiment into a straightforward blunder. It never happened cleanly. My opponent did eventually win the knight back, but only after the chaos it caused let me swing my bishop into a strong trade and push a pawn forward. And within a couple of moves of losing that knight, my rook captured a full piece of my opponent's on the other side of the board. Looking back at it now, I don't think I was ever actually in real danger, but I also can't honestly tell you I calculated all of that before I sent the knight in. Some of it, the pieces just lined up in my favor. By this point, calm was long gone. My rook found a checking square on the very back row, forcing my opponent's king to shuffle sideways with nowhere else to go. I brought my second rook in right behind it, lining both up together, and for a few moves neither of us said much with our pieces except come closer. My opponent tried to create some breathing room near their king, and I answered with a quiet pawn move of my own, just tidying up before the real pressure started. Then both my rooks pushed forward together, dropping onto the row right in front of the king, one after the other. Every check pushed that king another square from safety, first to one corner, then further still, with nowhere left to hide. Meanwhile, my opponent's knight went off on its own adventure entirely, grabbing a stray pawn on the edge of the board and then wandering even further away, as if defending the king had already stopped being the priority. And then, almost as an afterthought, the knight I had developed on my very fourth move, the one piece that hadn't moved once in the entire game while everything else fought around it, finally sprang into action. One jump, and it was checkmate. The quietest piece on the board delivered the loudest ending. I sat down to prove I could hold a calm position without a glaring mistake, and if I'm being honest with you, I failed that test by move 17. What actually won me this game wasn't the discipline I promised myself, it was how I responded after I broke it. If you've ever tried to force yourself into a calmer style and watched it fall apart the exact same way, tell me about it in the comments. And let me know what personal challenge you want to see me attempt next.